What's up guys, Amach is back with a new episode of Agatha Christie's ABC Murders. So, we have Alexander Bonaparte cast in front of us. He might be the murderer, he might be not. We will find out. Let's look at him first.
This man is not in good shape.
Lowered eyes, balding, crumpled jacket, and shaking hands.
He is worried and very tired, and other police have been hard on him.
Alright, let's talk to him.
What do you want from me?
Well, what do you think? Seriously, ask if he knows who is speaking to him. That's
Good day, Mr.
Come on.
Cust. I am Hercule Poirot.
Ah, you're the detective.
Oh, well. Wait, in the end of the last episode, I was like, oh, he might not be the murderer, but he sent the fucking letters.
Yes, I am the person you have been sending the letters.
I didn't write these letters. I've already said so.
Maybe you forgot that you wrote this letter.
Yes, it's true. Sometimes I forget. Maybe I did type them.
Ask if he's capable of killing, accuse him of being a killer, admit that you do not believe he's a murderer. Let's ask
Are
him.
you capable of murder, Mr. Cust?
All these questions are giving me a headache.
Insist on the fact that he enjoyed the war. Get him to talk about the army.
You suffered during the war.
It's true. I was wounded. I suffered. But the army was the only place I didn't feel inferior. No questions. Just orders to follow.
But ever since you were wounded, you have absences, bouts of amnesia.
And headaches.
Professor Clark treated you.
Yes, a few years ago he really helped me with my burned throat.
Accuse him of Dr. Clark's murder, accuse him of the 3 murders. Get him to believe he's innocent.
But you killed him, as well as 2 other people.
That's what they all say.
Ask him if he acknowledges going to the 3 towns. Say that witnesses saw him in the 3 towns. Well,
Do you deny being at the scene of the crimes?
So? There was no harm in being there. It was only for my work.
He is in no state. Poor man. I am
Well.
not going to leave before having...
oh, we have cough medicine. That's right. Yeah, there it is. Should I give him this? The sedative?
Take this. It will help you.
Thank you. Oh, good God, my shirt is covered in blood again.
Bon. I now know where the bloodstains Mrs. Marbury saw came from. Are you well enough to speak?
Yes, I feel much better.
Do you deny being at the scene of the crimes?
So? There was no harm in being there. It was only for my work.
We had this already.
You were seen at all the crime scenes.
Yes, I was. I travel a lot, but not for pleasure. I am terribly unwell in trains. But I had to respect my engagements. My employer gave me very precise written instructions about the towns I had to visit.
Oh, maybe his employer was it.
Let's see. The company you claim to work for, Silky Legs, has never heard of you. And as for these letters they sent you, they were written on your own typewriter.
The company sent me the typewriter when I started working for them.
Yes, but the letters were received afterwards.
It would appear that you typed them before sending them to yourselves. To yourself.
So it would appear that you typed them before sending them to yourself.
I don't remember. Good God! I don't know what's happening to me. My head hurts terribly.
He is prey to a terrible anxiety. Is it remorse? Or simply the pressure of the questioning and the train journey? He is in no... Take this. It will help you.
Oh, I think I'll be fine.
Let us see, Cust. Look at me. You know very well that you committed these murders?
Yes, I know.
But I'm not wrong in saying that you do not know why you committed them.
No, I don't.
Oh well.
Let us leave Cust alone.
And? What conclusions have you drawn?
Plenty. It might help us to understand him a little better. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Is Cust innocent? Well, what do we know about Cust's health? He brings up blood when he coughs, problems with his throat, and he suffers from abscesses. Cust is mentally and physically weak, not really the profile of our killer. Are there any clues that do not support Cust's guilt in the just murder? He did not appear to recognize Poirot. He had no reason to kill them. Huh. I used that one before and wondered why it wouldn't work. Yep. Would expect the murder's shirt to be stained. Are there any clues that do not support Cust's guilt? What? Even more? Yeah, of course. He did not appear to recognize Poirot, and he says he did not write the letters? Ah. Okay. There's several details which show that Cust is not guilty. Can we say without a shadow of doubt that Cust is guilty? He had no reason, and he says he didn't write the letter, so not guilty.
I don't see any clearer than before. This is worse.
There is one point to highlight. C'est curieux. Cust admits that he killed, but he does not know why. What did Dr. Thompson say? Even if Cust killed while in an altered state, it still must have been his deepest desire. He must have had a motive.
Let's keep it simple. Never mind his motive. He confessed.
But you see, he can confess to anything and everything. He denied the murders and then confessed to them. He confirmed that he never typed the letters. Then, with great ease, I managed to get him say quite the opposite.
Come on, he behaved like a guilty man. He lied to his landlady.
Because deep down he believes himself guilty. From the papers, he noticed that he had always been at the scene of the crimes. He must think that he killed and then simply forgot what he had done.
How can you be so sure?
Let us look at his psychological profile. You will understand my point of view.
I still don't get what's with the fucking letters, to be honest.
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Draw up the psychological profile of Cust. This is going to be fun. So, Observation by Hercule Poirot. Is cast clever? Indeed. Let us look again at this murder, if you please. You will see that the murderer carried it out to perfection. Oh, it wasn't for pleasure. Always unwell on trains. He keeps his pencil sharp. And he was very hesitant and shy. I've suspected him for some time. Oh, shit, it's only one. Is cast clever? Just orders to follow. So, mediocre. Okay. Is cast sure of himself? No. Not at all. Easy to influence? The murderer is a seducer. Well, yeah. Without any charm, you forget him immediately, basically. Does cast like trains? No. Is unwell on trains? Is cast impulsive? He's cold. Is cast generous? It's miserly. So.
You see? Cust's character is quite the opposite of the murderer's.
But if he's a madman, can we really talk about his character?
You know very well that our murderer does not behave like a psychopath. Apart from the signature, there is no ritual or repetition in the choice of victims.
Very well, you're right as always. So we have no confession, no culprit, no suspects, nothing. And all that after 2 months of inquiry? What should I do?
Have faith. Just give me 24 hours.
The objective, go home. It's not a good time. What? Oh. Alright, let's go home.
To White Heaven, please.
Cust's arrest is a great success for you, Poirot. It's all clear now, except maybe 1 or 2 details.
Details. Ah, mon ami. The devil is in the detail, as we say.
Excuse me?
Patience, Hastings. Everything will be clear once our guests arrive. Best be prepared. Slip a revolver into your pocket before they do.
A revolver? But Poirot, what are you afraid of?
Trust me. It is important you carry a weapon for this meeting. I will lend you mine.
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play your role. Wait 1 moment, I will bring you my weapon.
So, who's it really? Okay, so someone else did it, probably. I'm really curious. I really did not figure this out so far. I have to be really honest. Why can't I look at these again?
Hastings photo album.
It's pretty weird right now. There's the fucking ABC again.
Churston, Devon.
So, where's your revolver, Poirot?
Hmm.
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 Hmm. He's not even looking into the fucking... Not even close. Dude, really? Really? Alright. Anyway.
The white ammunition are blank cartridges. The others are real bullets.
Okay.
The revolver is loaded with real bullets. I still have time to choose blanc. The revolver is The revolver is loaded with blanks. I still have time to choose real bullets.
Wait a second. What?
The white ammunition are blank cartridges. The others are real bullets.
What?
My revolver is loaded. I now have to give it to Hastings.
It's loaded with blanks. Like...
The white ammunition.
Like what? Should I use real bullets or not? I have no idea what's going to happen. I think I should go with blanks. But I'm not sure. Let's go with blanks. I have no freaking idea what's going to happen.
What about telling me what...
Surtout pas.
That would be a really good idea. I don't know what he has in mind, so...
Voila, I entrust you with my weapon. It has hardly been used, it is almost new. Daily Flicker, September 11th, 1935. ABC affair. The latest victim in a narrow escape. The ABC murderer arrested in Doncaster in tragic circumstance. His name... His latest victim would have been Dick D. Dunbar. Mr. Dunbar, a hotel...
Dick D. Dunbar. It's even
Thanks to the
triple D,
quick
not even
intervention
double D like I thought before. It's
The
hilarious.
Lancet.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not listening to all of this. Alright. Phone is ringing. Let's answer.
Chief Inspector, is that you?
Yes. Sorry, but we haven't found anything.
Have you checked the typewriter?
And the packaging, the letter, and the ribbon reel. We've only found prints left by Cust and his landlady.
Well, never mind, I shall make do.
So, are you still going to hold your meeting?
Of course, Chief Inspector. I can hear my guest coming up the stairs.
His
Why have you brought us
landlady.
here, Mr. Poirot?
Since Cust's arrest, I thought it was all done and dusted. Miss Gray formally identified him, as well as Miss Barnard.
Yes, and the stockings he saw drove the same brand as the ones found at my aunt's.
This is all true. However, a case is not closed if some questions remain open. And one question is, why did the murderer send me his letters? Why did he challenge me, Hercule Poirot?
Perhaps he wanted to play with you, to taunt you.
Xenophobia? Maybe he didn't like you because you're foreign.
I may be wrong, but maybe by provoking you he was looking for glory?
All these theories should be studied. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Why did the murderer make a mistake in the address? Oh, there it is. The mistake is intentional. I tried so much, god damn it. Why did the killer send this letter to Hercule Poirot? I think he challenged him for glory. No? What? He wrote to Poirot because his address is not very well known. What? Why? This does not make any fucking
everything clear now?
sense. No, it's not.
You might like to explain your
Am
reasoning
I
again.
stupid? Really?
Of course. First of all, remember that the murderer made it a rule to always post his letter before the murder. He never digressed from that rule. However, in Churston, he encountered a problem. The village has only 500 inhabitants. With advance warning, it would be easy to arrest him. Therefore, the murderer delayed his letters deliberately with the wrong address. The plan wouldn't have worked if he'd sent it to Scotland Yard or the papers because everybody knows their addresses. The mistake would have been corrected and the letter would have been on time. That is why the murderer chose me as the recipient.
That actually makes sense.
Because for his plan to succeed, it was necessary for at least one of the letters to have a wrong address and get lost. It was very cunning.
But the third letter,
Absolument.
or
It
the
is a
second one,
versatile
which
plan.
one was it?
It matches the profile we have drawn up of him perfectly. That of an intelligent, daring and calculating murderer.
But that's not how you describe Cust.
Exactly.
You are quite right, mademoiselle. Like you, I find it hard to believe that this dull character is the clever murderer we are looking for.
Do madmen... I mean, if he's mad, he might have two very different sides.
No doubt. But the murderer is not mad. All the specialists agree that he does not have the profile of the psychopath.
But if Cust is not guilty, how do you explain his presence at the scene of the crimes?
Mr. Clark, the answer to your question
I
is in
think
the
it might
medical
be
record
her.
of your brother's patients. Documents which Cust most certainly did not have access to. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
What do we know about Cust? Well, he's easily influenced. He was in the war, and he was wounded in the war. Oh, I can only use two. We know all of this shit about him. Ha! Cust is mentally fragile and easy to manipulate. How to explain Cust's presence at the crime scenes? Well, he is a door-to-door salesman. And he wanted to see the crime scenes. No? Where would have fucking explained it? This was so random. Cust was manipulated. The killer made him go to the towns. Okay.
Dr. Clark's patients' records provided a very useful list of potential victims, sorted by alphabetical order. The killer definitely used it, explaining the fact that all the victims were former patients of the doctor. It is this fact that clears Cust once and for all, because he never had access to these records. So how did he happen to be at the scene of the crimes? Either the murderer sent him there, or Cust was following him closely. Cust's highly suggestible nature leads us to the second hypothesis. The murderer was manipulating him. He systematically sent Cust to the towns where he was going to strike, so that the suspicion would land on the poor man's shoulder.
That's evil. What sort of killer could have such a plan? And what would he gain from three completely different murders?
Indeed, it seems unlikely that the same murderer committed all the crimes. What should we take from that?
Say that one murder is of... Just one murderer is of interest to the killer. Say that murderer kills for pleasure. Killer has developed a taste for murder. There are three murderers. I'm not sure if maybe one was really interested. Like, it planned a fourth one, so I'm not really sure. I don't think that only one was of interest. Like, 2 or 3 would have been enough too. So, maybe there are 3 murderers.
There is not one murderer, but 3 accomplices, who all used the same scenario.
Do you mean that 3 murderers with quite different aims joined forces to create a smoke screen? Here's another question. Is it still necessary to find a motive for each crime? And the one in Andover poses problem. Why was poor Mrs. Asher killed?
Indeed. It would be best to forget the theory.
Okay.
Just
And
one
it's
murder
dead.
was of benefit to the murderer. The others were just diversions. On reflection, there is only one conclusion. The murderer killed once out of interest, and twice to divert our attention. This reasoning points at 2 potential culprits.
Franklin Clark.
Donald Fraser?
Yes, mademoiselle, that's good thinking. Mr. Fraser may have killed Betty out of jealousy. Mr. Clark may have killed his brother in order to inherit his large fortune. Both have a motive.
But Donald did not have access to Dr. Clark's records.
Please allow me to disagree with you, mademoiselle.
Donald was treated by Dr. Clark. Donald was resting at Churston. Donald's firm worked for Clark. I have no idea. Maybe I should have paid more attention.
Donald too has been treated by the doctor.
You're quite wrong, Mr. Poirot, and it shouldn't be difficult to prove.
Oui, please excuse me. It was a slip of the tongue. This is what I wanted to say.
Of course.
Donald, Sir Carmichael was one of your firm's customers. We found a surveyor's report among his papers that proves it.
It doesn't prove that I went to Comeside.
You could have done it. And you may have used the opportunity to take a look at Sir Carmichael's records.
You think I'm guilty?
You or Mr. Franklin Clark?
That's ridiculous.
Both of you have a motive. The question is, which of you has the profile that most resembles the murderer? Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Is Donald clever? Let's see. Well, he's a bright man with a promising career. Is Donald sure of himself? No. That not really. He was easy to influence. A seducer? Well, kinda. Ah, he likes trains. Is he cold or impulsive? No, he was too gentle. What? Come on. Quick-tempered. Alright. Is Donald generous? He is. So, not everything fits, but most of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald may share many character traits with the murderer, but he does not have his cold indifference. He has a temper. It is hard to imagine him planning anything. Also, jealousy is his motive, and crimes of passion are rarely planned.
Right, I suppose it's my turn to be subjected to the same scrutiny.
Absolument, Mr. Clark. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Is Franklin clever? Yeah. I mean, it's not proof that, like, this is out of thin air, the comparison of a few traits. So, he's sure of himself, so he's self-confident. So yeah, I don't think this is proving anything, to be perfectly honest. Is he a seducer? He is. Maybe I should have given the other dude the real bullet. He likes trains. Is he impulsive? Maybe we weren't a really cold-blooded guy. Yes, he is. And he's generous. Yep, that's that. He paid for her train tickets, I remember that. So, Too bad, dude.
As you have all seen,
You fit.
there is a disturbing similarity between Mr. Clark's profile and that of the killer. In actual fact, it is exactly the same.
It
Mr.
is.
Poirot, your psychological studies are interesting, but your conclusions do not add up. Why would I have wished my brother's death? The inheritance is lawfully mine. I just have to wait.
No, you had to act quickly.
Though a great bothered him, he was impatient. Maybe that, I have no idea.
Because of Miss Grey. Mademoiselle, although you haven't been telling the truth, there is no doubt in my mind that you would have found a way to marry Sir Carmichael after Lady Clark's death. For you, Mr. Clark, it was a disaster. If Miss Grey had children by your brother, you would not have inherited a thing. You realized the danger after reading several letters from Comside, especially one in which your brother opened his heart to you. So you hurried home from China, and you took action. In truth, Cust was no more than a puppet manipulated by the real culprit. You, Mr. Clark.
Such an imagination, Mr. Poirot. In fact, nobody manipulated Cust. The famous instructions he received by post. He wrote them on the typewriter. We know that for sure.
Oh no, you know perfectly well that is not true. Eh bien voilà, light has now been shed on the ABC murders.
Your theories are ingenious, but you haven't any proof.
One point to him. For the moment, I have no material proof. Either I admit to it, or I bluff.
Invent an item of proof found in Alice Ash's tobacco shop, blah, but the fingerprints found on Cust's typewriter say that proof is going to be easy to find. I don't know, they didn't find anything, so let's go with
Proof
that.
is easy to find now that we know where to look.
You have nothing on me. You're bluffing, Mr. Poirot. Come on, Thora, there's nothing for us to do here.
Don't touch me!
Thora!
I understand why you never wanted to lend me your new typewriter, and why you were searching through your brother's things. And the hole you dug on the moors. What did you hide there? The knife you used to kill your brother?
All right. Well played. I lose. The game's up.
Oh,
Don't
awesome.
come near me!
Ha!
I'll
Phew.
never let you take me, Mr. Poirot!
It was very good that I used the blanks in
I'm
there.
sorry, Mr. Clark, there is no easy death for you. I expected your reaction, so I used blanks. I'm sorry, mademoiselle, but your second chance has been lost. Franklin Clark will never inherit his brother's fortune.
Disappointed at having missed the chance to become Lady Clark, Thora Grey left England. Donald Fraser and Megan Barnard married. On Poirot's recommendation, Mary Drower started to work for Lady Clark. The elderly lady's condition suddenly took a turn for the better. And a few months later, to Dr. Logan's great surprise, she was back on her feet again. According to this eminent physician, it appears to be an extremely rare case of spontaneous remission. Lady Clark has enjoyed very good health ever since. Journal of an Innocent, the incredible story of ABC. As for A.B. Cust, after being advised by Poirot, he made a great deal of money by selling his story to the press. And as for me, and with business booming, the Black Swan has become the #1 tourist attraction in the whole of Yorkshire, even more popular than York Minster.
Alright. that was it. The ABC Murders by Agatha Christie. So, I really enjoyed this game. In the beginning I really thought, okay, this is way too easy. In the end I was like, a lot of these solutions I gave were to me either the same or didn't make any sense. I don't know if it's me. I have to say I prefer the Sherlock Holmes games. I definitely do, but I enjoyed this one as well. So it was a pretty cool game, but I'm really looking forward to the next Sherlock Holmes game coming out next year. And I really will play it as soon as I get my hands on it. So I don't know what much else to say about this game. It was a cool game. I've never watched the movie, that's why I did not know the story about it. I did not read the book or anything, so the story was really new to me. And yeah. With that said, I don't know if there's anything left in there for us to see, but nevertheless, I will leave this here already and hope that I see you in the next video. So, see ya.